thunder struck and heavy rain fell. Olaedo knew that it was done. Dike was not doing well at all, and this shook his father to the core. It had been a week, and there was no sign of Omimi. It was as if Omimi didn't want to be found or didn't exist at all. Ejike was so scared to sleep. He was afraid he would wake up to find Dike lifeless. Many nights he would cry and wish things were different. His mother would always tell him to get some sleep so that she would watch over Dike, but Ejike was adamant. He never wanted to leave Dike's side. One day, Ejike's mother couldn't bear to see her son suffer due to lack of sleep, so she added some herbs to induce him to sleep. After Ejike finished his food, he fell asleep shortly after. The queen mother told the palace guards to take Ejike to bed. She then watched over her grandson, silently saying prayers. When she could no longer stay awake, she appointed some maidens to watch over Dike. If any problem arose, they were to alert her immediately. The maidens would take turns watching Dike for a few hours while the previous ones went to sleep. Back in Isiaka Kingdom, Ufoma told her daughter that she was ready to retire because her body was weak and she needed time to rest. Olaedo, being the only child, had learned a little about herbs, but she didn't show much interest in it. Ufoma had tried to pass on the knowledge she had gathered about herbs to her daughter, but it was useless. One afternoon, Olaedo had just finished making lunch when she heard her name being called. She answered and rushed to her mother saying, "Yes, Mama, you called me." But her mother replied, "No, I didn't, Olaedo." Olaedo went back to serve the food for her and her mother. This happened several times a day, and it worried Olaedo. One night, she dreamt of a woman crying and asking for help. Olaedo couldn't understand. She had nothing to help her with. She was just an ordinary girl. She told her mother, who said that the next time she had the dream, she should ask the woman what she needed help with. It had been a week and some days, and Dike was still not getting better. So the king decided to offer a reward of 2 bags of gold coins to anyone who brought Omimi. Everyone was now in search of this mysterious person. Olaedo was returning from the market when she saw an old woman coming towards her. The old woman held her hand and looked into Olaedo's eyes. Olaedo was caught off guard as she tried to release herself from the old woman's grip. She couldn't understand how an old woman had so much strength. Then she looked up into the woman's eyes and saw the same woman from her dream, the one who had been crying for help. Then she also saw an image of a sun casting its glow into a hut without a roof. Olaedo closed her eyes, her heart beating fast. She took a deep breath to calm herself. When she opened her eyes again, the old woman had a smile on her face, revealing her colored teeth. "I know you want some answers. Come with me, and I will tell you everything you want to know," the old woman said. Olaedo went with the old woman, who led her into a small tattered hut in the bush. When they arrived, they both sat down facing each other. The old woman looked at Olaedo and began, "Olaedo, you are the great healer of this generation. Your healing techniques will be like no other. This is your calling, and you cannot run from it. The sooner you embrace it, the better for you." Olaedo had mixed feelings about what the woman had said. I will be with you at all times to guide you on this journey, the woman added, and then she disappeared. Olaedo ran home out of fear. She had never seen anyone disappear before. When she arrived home, she told her mother everything the woman had said. Her mother was happy for her, but Olaedo wasn't happy for herself. She didn't want this path. Her mother told her to follow her purpose as it would lead her to her destiny. Every night while she slept, she would see the old woman appear in her dreams and tell her to go to the king's palace in Amaze Kingdom. When she heard Amaze, she immediately decided that she was not going. At night, while she slept, she dreamt of a mother crying while holding her child. She woke up, and throughout the week she had that same dream repeatedly. The old woman came and spoke to her, saying that a healer does not choose whom to heal or not. A healer is supposed to have a pure heart. That if she allowed the boy to die, a painful fate awaits her. Olaedo begged one of her friends to go with her, and she agreed. Olaedo and Adugo packed their things and left for Amaze Kingdom at sunrise. It took them 3 days to arrive at Amaze. She wanted to get there in time so she would not make a dreadful mistake. The villagers looked at them strangely. They had never seen anyone like them in their village, considering she and her mother left when she was very young. She found her way to the palace and was directed to the king's room, where Dike was lying on the bed. When the king saw her, he met her gaze and she said, "I am Omimi. I have come to heal your son. I would like some privacy now." The king was not sure if he should leave his son with this stranger, and he didn't know whether to believe her. But his subconscious told him to obey, so he left to wait outside the room. Olaedo called upon her ancestors, and they answered. Light shone through her. It was as if she was possessed by some strange being. Olaedo stayed inside the room while making incantation, mixing herbs, burning incense, and oiling Dike's body. Dike would scream whenever she did that. The spirits that guided Olaedo told her that Dike was under an ancestral oath, which stated that every firstborn child from the family, be it a boy or a girl, would be taken at some point. It was an oath taken by the forefathers of Dimma to use their firstborn children as a sacrifice to strengthen their lineage, and now it had turned into a curse. Olaedo made several sacrifices to appease the spirits. She spent 3 whole days inside, and during those days, Ejike did not sleep. He sat outside, and every time he heard his son scream, he wanted to break into the room, but his mother would hug him and calm him down. Adugo sat there silently observing. On the morning of the 4th day, Olaedo came out of the room and demanded Dimma's old clothes and an egg. Ejike went and brought them and gave it to her. Then she asked for Dimma's grave, and Ejike took her there. And all that while, Ejike looked at her in awe. She was so young, yet she commanded such powers, and the aura around her was so strong. Olaedo said some things at Dimma's grave and told Dike that she had one more thing to do. She spoke with her friend and then she left. Olaedo went to Dimma's family's house. Then she went to the big Iroko tree in the center of the compound. Then she said, Omimi had come to break all oaths and curses starting from today. As I tear this cloth and break this egg, I break every oath and curse upon this family, both far and near. Upon saying that, thunder struck and heavy rain fell. Olaedo knew that it was done. That same night, Dike woke up and asked for food. Ejike's happiness knew no bounds. He requested that all kinds of food be presented to Dike for him to choose. Not long after, the news traveled around the village. That night, Ejike slept well. He was relieved that his son was well again. As he slept, he had a dream where he saw his late wife. She was smiling at him, and then she walked up to him, took his hand, and led him to a woman whose face was veiled. They got closer, and she placed their hands together. He saw her smile at him, and then she left. He was about to unveil her when he woke up. This is indeed a strange dream, he thought. Since Dimma's death, Dike had never seen her in his dream. He knew she was trying to pass a message on, but he could not understand it. He waited for dawn to tell his dream to his mother. When it was dawn, he went to see Dike and saw that he was okay. Then he went to see his mother and they sat down. He told her about his dream, and his mother said, "I think Dimma had chosen a woman for you. She wants you to be happy, son," she said, smiling. Unknown to them, Adugo was listening to their conversation. She happened to pass by when she saw the king entered his mother's room. She had fantasies about Ejike, but he had never looked her way. What will I do with this information? She asked herself. Soon, Olaedo returned to the palace. Ejike thanked her and asked, "What can I give you for healing my son?" "Do not worry about that, King Ejike. It is not I, but the gods who have healed your son. They demand that you give them a cow, and you should lift the ban about healers in this land. You can talk to your chief priest and he will guide you," she said. She told him that it was time for her to go. He insisted for her to stay over and have food with them, but she refused. She packed her things and left with Adugo, who was reluctant to leave for some reason. Throughout their journey home, Adugo was quiet. She was so deep in her thoughts that she almost walked into a tree. "Are you okay, Adugo? You have been acting strange since we left the palace. Did anything happen in my absence?" Olaedo asked. "I am sorry, Olaedo. I was just thinking about something personal," Adugo replied. "You know you can always share with me," Olaedo told her, but Adugo said that she would share when she was ready. They soon arrived in Isiaka. Olaedo and Adugo went to their respective houses. Olaedo told her mother about everything that happened in Amanze, and Ufoma was so proud of her. That was the beginning of Olaedo's gift. She made herbal medicines that could heal strange illnesses. The villagers were stunned. They had never seen anyone like her before. It had been a month since Olaedo and Adugo returned from Amanze, but they had never seen each other. Whenever Olaedo visited Adugo, she would always find her absent. Adugo, in return, would never visit Olaedo. Adugo was looking for a way to be with the king, thereby impersonating the woman in the king's dream. Then she met a woman who told her that she could change her face and make her look different, but there was a price to pay. However, she first needed to obtain a piece of cloth worn by the former queen. Adugo prepared and left for Amanze. When she got there, it was late. She asked to see the king and told him that she had forgotten her favorite beads in the room that she had used earlier. The king allowed her to search, and she brought out the beads she had kept in her cloth and said that it was a bead she had forgotten. Since it was late, the king advised her to stay and return the next day. This worked well for her, and she agreed. She ate and slept. When it was night time, she woke up to search the palace. She had seen the king enter a room when he went to bring Dimma's clothes, as Olaedo had requested. She was about to go in when she saw that the king was inside. Her heart skipped a beat, and she ran and hid in a corner. When the king left, she entered the room, took one of the clothes she had seen in the basket, and hid it in her skirt. As she came out, she was met by the king, his eyes blazing with fire. "What did you go in there to do?" he asked. "I'm sorry, my king. I think I entered the wrong room," she replied. As the king heard that, his eyes softened. "Don't go in there again," he said, and Adugo nodded her head in return. She left to go to her room. It felt as though her heart would jump out of her chest. He loves her so much. That's the same way you will love me, King Ejike. Just watch and see. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share. See you on the next one. Bye.